Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Be Healed Web Show. I am your host, Camille R. Perry, and I'm so excited, peacock proud, as some would say, to have you on with me tonight. This is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the Be Healed Web Show where there is grace in every story. I know you can't see the tagline just yet, because my main announcements that I've been announcing since I want to say April, the Be Healed Women's Conference and Retreat is happening August 21st through the 24th. Registration, general registration is $200 for the women to attend. That includes all the transportation for our events that we have set up, includes your gifties, your swag bags, and all those various things that you're going to experience. And then, of course, once you register, the booking link is a part of on the confirmation page where you can book your hotel room at that discounted rate. So definitely want to do that. General registration closes on the 31st, aka August 1st. Know that July 31st at 11:59 p.m. will be the last time general registration will be open. All right. As we conclude the month of July, I have to, as my custom every month, wish all of my July babies a happy July birthday. Especially, I know today, Lady Deidre Turner is celebrating, put another candle on her cake on today. My daughter is celebrating her birthday on tomorrow. She'll be 26. Then Uncle Tyrone, he's proud of his 75, and I'm proud for him. He'll be turning 75 on the 31st. So to all of my last, but certainly not least birthdays in this month, Mother Inella had her birthday on this past Sunday to put another candle on her cake. And so to all of my July babies, early in the month, mid-month, or to the very tail end, happy birthday to you. May the good Lord keep blessing each and every one of you. I'm excited because tonight I have a special guest. Hey Shannon, good to see you. Good evening. Hey Dion. Yes, little Michi's birthday is tomorrow, so happy birthday to little Demetrius. I believe Michi's. I've been calling him Michi all his life, so I think it's Demetrius. Um, so happy birthday to Demetrius Brown Jr. For his birthday on tomorrow. All right. I have the esteemed privilege and pleasure. I always love when I'm able to have guests on the show, because I said because twice, but let me just bring this together. It's such an awesome time to talk to people that you never met in person, or maybe you just had a little passing, and you're able to get to know them, able to learn about them, how they contribute to this beautiful thing we call life. Hey, Mom. And so today is no different. You all know we had Captain Ann Young on a couple of months ago, and she shared in Captain Ann Young. I call her Auntie Ann. She's been such a blessing. She's referred so many other people to this wonderful podcast, this inspirational TV. And tonight we have the Candance Pilgram-Simpson. You all, Simmons, Candance Pilgrim. I'm saying Pilgrim, right? Yeah, Pilgrim Simmons, and she's going to share on tonight. And she is the sole proprietor, the owner of All That and More Boutique, and she's going to tell us all about that. Hey, Auntie Ann, glad to have you on tonight. And so let me tell you a little bit about Candance before she joins us in studio. So graduated from Manual Arts High School. So all of my LA folks, those that are familiar, I know my dad knows Manual Arts High, even though he was a Crenshaw Higher. But she graduated from Manual Arts High School as a certified nursing, as a CNA. She studied business management at University of Phoenix, my fellow alumni sister, and recently completed her master's degree at UCLA. And so excited to have her on. And so let me just tell you, let me jump into the meat of it. So I stated that she's currently the owner, the proprietor for All That and More Boutique, located in Culver City, California. This particular boutique offers not only celebrity styling, but wanting to, if you're looking to brand yourself, looking to figure out what color works for you, how to style to make yourself come alive, what patterns work for you, making sure that there's inclusivity in sizing. I mean, you talking, I'm already preparing to get me and my mom down there and whoever else wants to roll down there with me, to have that styling, because we can always elevate our brand. And so she said that there's one of the things that I thought was so interesting that she called out is not only it's a shopping experience, but it's enrichment. It's a personal enrichment and development. So give you that comfy, classy, or casual with an edge. And so I'm excited to hear how she came about with that. So the boutique was listed as best in Culver City in 2013 through 2017. So for 4 years straight, they were known for that. And so as she continues to go through, even after the pandemic and all the different challenges that she has faced, she continues to thrive. She continues to excel. She continues to do the things that that God has purposed for her. And so not only is she a wife, not only is she the bomb auntie, godmother extraordinaire, my sister, my fellow sister in that manner, she is truly a godsend. I hope you all are blessed. Those of you who know her, I'm not introducing her to you, but those who have never known Miss Candance Simmons before, I welcome her in on today. Can we get in the chat and go ahead and give it up for All That and More, the Candance Pilgram-Simmons? I'm so excited. Hey sis, hey
How
sis,
are
hey
you?
sis.
I'm so excited to be here, and thank you, Auntie Anne, for this introduction. Thank you, thank you.
Right? Because Auntie Ann, listen, Auntie Ann be coming in with the plugs, and she was like, she messaged me. She said, "Okay, I woke up with this on my heart." She said, "I want to help," and I said, "Okay, hey." She was like, "So I'm gonna send you some people," and I said, "Okay, I'm here for it." And then when we talked, Candace, let me tell you something. I have been so intrigued by you, looking at your website, looking at all you do, and I'm like, can I get a celebrity stylist to take care of me and all this plus size that I
Listen,
got? And you said, "Come on down, let's
I,
go."
I have all that and more waiting for you, and it's just
I'm
yes,
coming.
yes. I'm so excited. I'm so honored to be here. And called me and said very similar things about you, and she said we had to connect. And I can say that I met Anne through another organization that she was helping, and we connected and we've
Mhm,
stayed connected. And she's so cool, calm, and collective, and just she's very intentional about her introduction. So when she introduces me to someone, I already know the intentions have been set. The path is
mhm.
clear, and it's perfectly fine for me to walk forward in all that you have shared. I've gone and I've looked on your podcast, and from our conversations, I'm just excited to be here. And as Anne said, how can I help? I'm here to help. I'm here to help. We're blessed to be a blessing.
I love it. Exactly, that's what we're called to do, and so, I'm looking at the boutique behind you. Can you tell us, how did all of this come about? What prompted you to do
Well,
this?
it's been a journey, and it's something that I've
Mhm,
held. It was put on my heart when I was very young, watching my mom and my dad and all that they shared. Just little anecdotes, those Southern anecdotes that we don't hear a lot because they seem to
mhm,
just kind of trickled off. But my mom would say, when you leave the house, dress like you're worth saving. My dad would say, people will treat you how they perceive you. And, my dad was a truck driver, my mom was a nurse, and they left in their uniforms pristine. And, we had our
yeah,
Sunday inspections, everything had to be right. So every time we left out of the house, it was dressed like you're worth saving. And I would watch my mom go into stores and shop for like nursing uniforms and come out and twirl. And that was her happy place. And I watched the sales associates that were, styling her for a nursing uniform and how that just warmed her soul. She had 5 kids. She was trying to treat herself to a nursing
Mhm.
uniform, or if we went shopping, just that leveling up of her, just her mental health. Back then I didn't know it was that, but it was just the way she responded, and that was her happy place. And I always wanted to create a happy space, like a sanctuary for women. And when I worked in corporate
Mhm.
America, I knew if my associates, how they showed up is because they were going through something. And I would say, if I could just get them to lunch and get them to the mall and have them break free from
Mhm.
whatever it is that's troubling them, they would be stronger contributors. So when the opportunity presented itself after 25 years of working for an amazing company, I asked my husband, "Can I do what I love?" You know, he was
Mm.
like, "That's shopping." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Can I do what I love?" He's like, "Are you gonna spend money or make money?" I said, "Hopefully both." And God
Love it.
presented me with a business partner. My business partner had a lot of things that I didn't have, so it was a great combination. When that ended, I was just propelled forward into this space. I have amazing community folks that have started off as customers that have become a part of my pillars in the community. And it's just been an experience. I mean, it's like retail. How do you survive the pandemic? Like you mentioned earlier, how do you survive your first
Mhm.
year? You do that through prayer and also through connecting with the right people that God puts in your life. And he's able to move you forward because it takes some heavy lifting to do anything. And when you have people that you surround yourself that that are God sent, of course there's gonna be some sprinkling in of those that try and test you, but knowing and staying the
Yeah.
course with those that were for me is what made a difference.
I love that. When you mentioned a couple things that you said, I'm still feasting on that. Dress in the manner of where you would be rescued
Yes,
or saved,
yes,
right?
it
That's
is.
huge, because even though we try to be conscious about our biases and think that everybody has good intentions and that if I was in distress or need, people would rally, but that's not always the case. And so that's really that still
Mhm.
sticks with me, since we spoke about that the other day. And then when you mentioned about understanding, even at that particular time as a young girl, the impact that just having that, and I think we all, men as well, it's not a gender specific thing, but when you have that moment of feeling seen or feeling
Mhm.
beautiful or um put
Yes.
together, it could be a scent, it could be a look, it could be all these things that just brings that personal
Hmm.
equity up. It makes a difference. And when you mention about in the
Yes.
corporate space, I always remember when I was first looking for a job in corporate America, we went to a career fair. And my mom, my best friend, my sister, and I, we drove down to Irvine. And when we pulled up, you could see the people who were dressed to
Hmm.
the nines. You could see the people who were dressed, but the shoes didn't match, or maybe something was
Hmm.
wrinkled, just little things. And even when you got in there, seeing how you could see the faces of those who were
Hmm.
interviewing, how they looked at all of that. They took all of that in and already made
Yes.
assessments. And so when you mentioned that, I was like, man, that is so
It is.
true.
I've had the pleasure of going to Culver City High School and talking to the students on how to dress for an interview.
Mhm.
And while I didn't take my clothing because I wanted to meet the students where they were, I went into Ross and I went into
Yeah.
Marshalls and I told them white shirt, dark pants, gray or navy blue, black
Mm-hmm.
shoes. If you don't have the money, I said, when you guys get your first interview, I have clients that will buy you an outfit if your aunt or dad won't get you one. We can go, I'll take you shopping. But I just told him, I said, people, one of the things one of my mentors told me, he said, you only know the players by their uniform. He said, and the coaches wear suits. And he said, when I walk into this warehouse, I need to be able to identify who's in charge. And I was like, okay. So I was in charge. I worked in a warehouse. I put on a blazer, jeans, and t shirt. So presenting, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, a blazer and the bottom, you at least got to have a complete suited look. You want people to pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to what you're saying and not be distracted by what you're not wearing. So it's been one of those things, and I'm so thankful that my parents instilled that in us. Mom would say, you can't, if you show up to the bank and your account is overdrawn, you have to look like money's coming soon.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
well, well. That's a word. That's a word. Uh, because even in church, we always say we don't look like
Mhm.
what we've been through, right? We'll hear that
Mhm.
catchphrase, and sometimes that's not
Right.
necessarily true. Sometimes we do look a little scarred and marred of what we've gone through. But I do think I was just speaking to my students earlier today as we closed out our summer session, because I always tell them that they're the brand and they're the
Yes.
business. How you market yourself matters. You are your own billboard when you step out of the house, when you communicate, what you post. Is so true. So let's just kind of
Sure.
dive in for a second to get more to know
Mhm.
more about you. I've thoroughly have enjoyed reading through your bio and understanding that I don't want to call it grassroots because I think sometimes people associate a different connotation to that. But I would like to say that you were a very determined woman. Um, can you tell us about young Candance, um, and how young Candance has helped promote the woman that we see today?
Well, young can dance. I'll just go back to kindergarten. I
Okay.
had a speech impediment. I stuttered, right? I stuttered. I went to speech therapy, and it's something, speech is intentional for me. And I
Hmm.
remember my kindergarten photo and my mom and I having a conversation because my collar had these colors in it, but I wanted my ribbon to be red. And we fought about it because she wanted to do other colors. I said, no, it needs to be red. And she found a gift and she took the ribbon off, made it red. Okay, we're good. And my mom um, transitioned when I was 14, going into high school. But the
Okay.
day before she passed, she held my hand and she said, God's going to give you everything you need to succeed.
Mm.
Everything. And she's like, don't look to this person, don't look to that person, but look to God. And the next day she
Wow.
transitioned. So my high school years were just really interesting. I felt I was
Mhm.
fighting to um, overcome what I had lost and didn't really understand it. So I'm the youngest of five. So there's 3 years and 4 years and 7 and 8 amongst my siblings. And so a
Mhm.
lot of times when I talk to my siblings, they're like, you didn't know that? I was like, no, we didn't hang together. So I was kind of alone.
Mm.
And I had a really
Yeah.
good friend, and we went through high school together. And I was like, there's a value in one. All you need is one. So that's how I moved through high school and graduated with my CNA because I thought I wanted to do nursing because that's what my mom did, and I wanted to follow in her footsteps. But my mom
Right.
was a nurturer. She took care of the entire neighborhood. She invited folks in and kids, and
Mhm.
we always had a lot of kids around us. And the day after high school, when we talked about interviews, my best friend and I went to an interview at 333 South Hope. And it
Okay.
was for American Funds. Now, in high school, I did cosmetology, nursing, bank telling, and auto mechanics. Because I'm like, I need to know all these things. Then
Wow.
I realized going in on my first interview, well, got called back by my job advisor, and he said, I got something that crosses over two areas of interest. I was like, which two? He's like, nursing and cosmetology. And I was like, okay. This is 1985, and minimum wage was like 335. This job paid
Mm.
11.75, and I'm
Oh, you
interested.
balling.
And he's like, you won't get any complaints. You could practice all you want, and it's an apprenticeship. And I was like, ooh, they're gonna pour into me, okay? And he said, yeah, Harrison Ross Funeral Home is looking for an apprentice. And I was like, no, no. I want to work amongst the living. He's like, but you got the nursing and you got the cosmetology. This is a perfect fit. And look at what they're gonna pay you. And I was like, no, 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 no. So in his frustration, he turned around, gave me an index card and said, here, this is for American Funds. They need somebody to work in their warehouse and go interview with them. And I was like, looked at what they were paying. And my best friend and I at the time, we went in because I said, come go with me. And I got dressed in my Sunday best. She put on jeans and tennis
Mm.
shoes. When we got to the Capital Group, American Funds down there at then
Mhm.
333 South Hope, we both walked in, saw the marble floors, and I said, "You might want to wait, but I'm gonna tell them about you." So I walked in, nailed the interview. They wanted someone to work 8 hours, but I said, I'm still in school. I can give you 4. He said, call us the day after graduation or call us when you graduate. I was like, okay. My dad bought me a car. I needed to make payments. So I said, I need a job. So I called him right before I went to
Mhm.
grad night. And he says, when can you start? I said, when do you need me? He's like, tomorrow. I said, well, what time? And he told me 8 o'clock. I was like, I could do this. So I stayed up all night, went and had my first day working with the American Funds and worked there for 25 years. I left there as an
Wow.
assistant vice president and never pursued my nursing anymore. And in that role, I was still able to help serve, engage my community, on track new associates, and learned so much. And then 2008, 2009 hit, stock market crash. They eliminated my assistant vice president position. And that's when I went home and said,
Mm.
babe, I'm going to take a break because I never got a summer vacation. And then I'm gonna get back to work. And then that's when I was blessed with the opportunity. Fashion has always been my passion. I know what it empowers, how it empowers women, how it's our safe space, how our confidence rises, how our determination shifts, and how our emotion shifts
Mhm.
based on how we show up. And so to be able to do that for the women in my community, it's been a blessing for the past 15 years.
You know, Candance, am I saying it too quickly? The Candance, or should I say
Yes,
Candance?
I'm the
What do you prefer?
Pilgrim Simmons that can dance. It's can dance. I used to be
The Pilgrim Simmons that can
the
dance. I
pilgrim
love
that
it.
can dance. That would get a lot of laughs. But now I'm the Pilgrim Simmons that can dance.
I love it. I love it. I- that's like that's a whole story in
Yes.
itself. Like Candance, one of the things that you said, like since we first talked last weekend, to see how much parallel you and I have, I'm like, did we
I
just become best friends?
think
Like type
so. I
thing.
think
Like
so. Speech impediment,
because
University of Phoenix. There are so many. And we're just like full
Right.
circle.
I was like, I mean, when you mentioned about being the auntie godmother role, I'm like, yes. And when you mentioned, then you said speech impediment, I was like, what? Yes.
Right. Exactly.
um, so here's a couple of things when you mentioned about from the little girl in you who has helped be the woman, help you to be the woman that you are now, and seeing that transformation, seeing that stage. When you mentioned about what your mother spoke life to you as she was taking her final breaths, that is so monumental when I think about the parental relationship. When you said it, I thought about how Jacob was blessing his kids before he went on, David making sure to bless Solomon. And, it's those moments matter because she painted a very clear north star for you. Your physical north star would now have to go rest and be in the arms of Jesus. But she's saying, like, hey, I'm leaving, but hey, you need to go to him. And when you mentioned that God will give you, when you said how she said to you, he will give you everything that you need to succeed. I wanted to get up and run. Okay. But I said, let me be dignified because this is the podcast. But I don't think people really understand how true
Mhm.
that is. God will give us everything that we need to succeed in this life. All we have to do, one, ask, two, be confident knowing that
Mhm.
he'll do it, that he'll keep his promise, that he won't leave or forsake. And so when you said that, I was like, oh God, that's so
Yes.
good.
Yes.
So,
And that
so
was
good.
the last conversation I had with my mom. I didn't know she was transitioning. Um, she held my hand, wouldn't let go. We were visiting her, and then the next day she was gone. So I've held on to that for a very long time.
Yeah, honey, I'm holding on to it. Just I'm now holding on that
Thank you.
with you because those words of wisdom, the we read in scripture oftentimes, he being, the general term for persons, have a ear to hear, let him hear what the spirit is
Yes.
saying. So many times people who have experienced tragic loss like that don't remember the
Mhm.
final words or remember, even conversations
Right.
leading up to the departure, but you held that.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom and my dad were funny in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, they had
Mhm.
a very comedic way of getting points across, and I just hold on to it. My dad loved telling jokes, and when I meet people that love jokes, that becomes our connection because my dad and I would get a joke and I'd call him and he'd tell me his same joke over and over again. And my sister's like, "You and daddy just love telling jokes." I said, "I love to laugh. There's
Yeah.
always room for laughter in my heart. And, in spite of everything that's going on." So,
So so good. Again, that's another similarity because Lord knows I love a good conversation, a
yeah.
good laughter. I was just telling my parents today, I said, the way God will give us what we need, not only to succeed, but to
Yes.
survive and to have joy and to find
Hmm.
peace in the midst of circumstances and trials. So I love that. Um, I looked on here and I see that you have style
Yes.
educator. So I'm going to ask you
Okay.
two questions. The first question is, what has been one of the greatest hurdles that you see amongst people? I know you cater to women, but what have you seen that has been like a common hurdle that you have to try to help shape and shift for your clients to see themselves as they need to?
Well, I refer to myself as a style educator because I believe that we all have our own style. need help in,
Mhm.
developing it and helping, transition to where we are now, whether corporate entrepreneurs, church leaders and things of that nature. So we're always transitioning. The biggest hurdle is for helping my clients not see what they don't want to see. So
Mm.
I style women for their body type and their lifestyle. And oftentimes they come in, they're like, "Ooh, I've gained weight," or "Ooh, I don't like this about myself, and I don't like that about myself." And I'm like, okay. So now it's for me to help them not see that about themselves, but then see themselves in a better space. So sometimes women are like,
Mhm.
I don't have any curves or I have too many curves. And I'm like, okay, this is your blessing. Okay, we're going to create some curves. We're going to create, what you want so that you can move forward and do what you've been called to do. So that's a hurdle. I have a slimming mirror. They make those, right?
No, I'm like, where can I order 17 of
I haven't,
them?
but I put it
Okay.
way in the back. So I have 2 rooms in the boutique, so I put it way in the back. And when women, even after they've had major milestones of releasing, whatever it is, they still can't see that because they remember when. So I can take them to
Mm.
the slimming mirror and I said, "Look in here, look." And I said, "That's how I see you. That's how the world sees you. You need to see yourself this way." And I said, I could put this slimming mirror in the boutique, in the main dressing room, but I don't because I want you to see you and then see how the world sees you too. But we need to get you here because I've been a 0 and I've been a 22. So I've been, as
Mm.
the my family from the South would say, is I've been rich and I've been poor. So I know the significance of being happy with where you
Mhm.
are. Sometimes women will come in and say, "Oh, no, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I need to lose this." And I said, "But you're still going to go out tomorrow this size. So let's get you going out tomorrow where you currently are and feeling good about where you currently are."
Mhm.
So that's been one of the biggest hurdles that I've had to help my clients overcome. You're beautiful right where you are.
Well,
And
see,
I understand your goal, but let's get you comfortable where you are
yeah.
right now because you still got stuff to do until you get there.
My sister Jaquita, she's on here tonight. She said, "I need that mirror." I'm like, "Sis, you ain't the only one." Like I'm like, "Can I just get a house of mirrors and they
Hmm.
all be that?" But to your point, it's very interesting that you mentioned about that desire for us wanting to reward ourselves once that accomplishment or that modification has
Hmm.
taken place, but yet living in penalty until it
Hmm.
takes place. And you're saying, don't
Don't
do
waste this.
that because
Don't waste this
yeah.
time. I have clients that have lost or they see themselves as to where they were. And when they come in, they still want that size. And so I have gone to the
Mhm.
point of not even telling them what size I just gave them until they put it in their bag and said, "That's not what you came
Mhm.
here for. This is, look at it. Okay, but remember it fit. So that's your size."
Oof. Hey Latima, my sister Latima's on. She said, "I love that you are beautiful where you are as a gym." And then we have a testimony. Miss Catherine Baker says she did it for me when I first walked in. I would wear nothing but black, long and oversized, but not
Not anymore.
anymore. You know, and see, one of the things that I there's a few folks that I follow. Christine, I know she goes by Christine on
Mhm.
social media. Um, and there's a few other plus size amazing women that I follow on social media. And I started noticing the colors and the patterns that they were wearing. And I remember looking like, oh, if they can do that, I can do that. Finding what
Mhm.
color hue, because there's so much commercialization and promoting of of a certain size being this, or a certain color, tone of skin being this better than that, where people get caught up in that identity, that they don't see the beauty, the fearfully and wonderfully made that God has created us to be. And I think, that insecurity is so common
Mhm.
amongst all people. And so, Sister Charlotte says she need that slim mirror too. But like, girl, you got to just send those. Charlotte's in Alabama. I'm here in Moreno Valley. You just got to start shipping them out. Let us know where we need to pay the invoice. But another thing that you mentioned in there, and even seeing you when I saw you come on with that yellow and the red, just like it's so um, so attractive. It's such a magnet. There's a magnetism that's connected in there. What do you? My second question is really not my second question. This is like probably my 15th question, but I'll make it the second to this. We're in a time where people would normally say, "Oh, the season's colors, the is this, and the this is what is needed." Do you follow that same belief system, that there's certain colors for this outside? I know we mentioned about interviewing, but do you have like a color swatch that you say that works for this type, or do you just try to incorporate
You know,
whatever?
I believe that we should be aware of the seasons and how they change. And I think we should be aware of the different our body type and what things look good and what things accentuates the positive and what things cover,
Mhm.
the things that we don't want to share. But when it comes to color, um, someone, if you ask anyone, what's your favorite color? They have one. My favorite color is red. That's why you see it in the background. My dad's favorite color was yellow, canary yellow. So I wore this in his honor because yellow is vibrant. It gives good energy and it raises, just the feeling that you have in terms of excitement and newness and all of that. So I wore this because it's a new experience for me. I was excited to be here. It's an ode to my dad. So I know that whatever your favorite color is, that color that draws you, that
Mhm.
pulls you, that's the color you really vibe in because you're like, ooh, purple, this is my jam. So most of my clients, I know, repeat clients, I know their favorite color. And if someone's coming in, I'm like, well, what shade are you looking for? What's your favorite color? Because if you can get me to feeling good, so with me, you can show me a
Mhm.
red anything and I'm excited. That's why I'm generally popping a red lip and you see the red nails. That's my jam.
Mhm.
I think you should know what the colors do and how they move and how they translate into the different rooms that you're entering in. But it really starts with you. And when I just did a discussion on colors, what the summer colors are. So it's good to know what they are. And it's good to know what emotions it evokes. So I talked about green, that being
Mhm.
prosperity, black is grounding. It's not dark, it's a very grounding color, it's a slimming color. And so I think I encourage all my clients to go with what makes you feel good, despite the fashion trends, despite the seasons. It's what you're going to feel confident in walking into any room in. So it's good to know them. And, the biggest thing that I like popping a balloon on, is white. You can't wear white past Labor Day. Why? And if you study the
Right.
history of it, it had to do with position and, status and the different areas, especially in the South. And it was a reflection of whether you had money or not. Really? If you want to
Mm.
wear white and you want to wear winter white and things of that nature, it's about you. So no one's going to come and give you a
Right.
fashion ticket because you're wearing white after Labor Day. But if you're raised in the
Right.
South and that's what grandma said and that's what's been planted and replaying in your head, go with it. Because if you step out in it, you're going to feel uncomfortable. So always, I take my clients back to, let's get you feeling excited about what you're doing and how you want to feel. And that's where we go. But I also tell them, If you're invited to a theme party and it's white or it's purple and it's green, wear that. If you're going to a party,
Right.
don't be
Right.
disrespectful of the host. You can't do what you want to do at their party, especially if you
Yes.
respond to the invitation. So, yeah, those are
I love that. I love that. We got some more Anistas in the chat. I love that. Lanice said, I just let her know about my event and she got me ready for it. Love that. Catherine said that she's a purple and yellow now. That's Laker color. I'm all for that. More Anista. And then Sherry said, I would wear dark colors. I would only wear dark colors. Now I wear reds and yellows thanks to Candance. And so my mom even said, she said that she totally agrees with going with your own flow. My mother lives by that. I tease her sometimes. I'm like, look at you, just looking like a little swatch of colors. But one thing that my mom, and I admire this about my mom, she's always had that independence and that confidence of like, as long, look, I feel good about me. I look good about me. I know I'm good about me. I don't care if you don't care or if you don't see the same thing. I always have admired my mom for that. And so I want to take this moment. I want to highlight you. So I'm going to go off
okay.
camera for a second. I'm
Okay.
still here, but I'm going to give you, um, let's do, let's do
Oh,
5 minutes. Let's do
okay.
5 minutes. And for the next 5 minutes, possibly longer, but 5 minutes for sure, this is the Can Dance
Oh,
experience. And you're going to talk to all the future clients that are watching tonight and maybe even watch tomorrow. What they need to know to compel, if you want to just take them through a sample of what it's like to be at the All That and
okay.
More boutique. All right. So let me get off camera. Let me hide myself and I'll be right. I'm
Okay.
here. I'm listening.
Hello, everyone. I am Candance Simmons, and I'm again so honored to be on this platform. What you've heard so far is a little bit about me, but I really want to spend some time talking about you. So, first of all, our clients, we don't refer to them as clients. We refer to you as a mornista, which is a mature woman who dresses for her body type and her lifestyle. And if you're transitioning and you're not quite sure as to where you are, that's where I come in. So I help you, first of all, find out what's flattering to your body type, where it is that you are in your life, whether you're in corporate, whether you are, you're retired and you're traveling, you're going to parties and you just need something that will help you enter a room, any room with confidence. That's again where I come in. At All That and More Boutique, our theme is comfy, casual, classy with an edge. And most of our pieces here are by local designers or international. There's five that I work with because I get there. They get my clients, you, they get you. So their quality is excellent. It is a boutique experience, so you're not going to see yourself because we generally bring in a size small, an extra small through 1X. Now, in my line, which is the more line, which is items that we have curated just for us, one of the pieces, this piece that I'm wearing, it is a high collared shirt in honor of my brother, Alvin, who transitioned 4 years ago. He always showed up high collar shirts, French cuffs. So I curated pieces and designed them with that in mind. But I wanted to bring out the femininity that we all as women want to showcase for the most part. So, what you'll see in this Shades of Lace collection, the first piece is the Alnista, which is a long duster. It zips in the front, and yes, it has pockets. Then in the line, we went into shorter jackets. The one I'm wearing has a zipper, has definitely the French cuffs, and it has so many pieces that are in the fashion story. A fashion story is a piece that you can continue to build on. So we have the jacket, we have the tank, we have the leggings, we have shorts, and we have a pencil skirt now. We also have an off the shoulder top. So in the More collection, you can range from colors, this vibrant yellow, the vibrant red. We do a lot in jewel tones. So we definitely have the blacks, we have your whites, we have, as I mentioned, the yellow, we have purple, we have peach, we have various shades that we have that really represent um, our clientele, our mornistas. A mornista is a mature woman who dresses for her body type and her lifestyle. We don't follow the fashion trend. So, fashionistas kind of go with the flow. We've already flown, we've already arrived. My clients, for the most part, are 40 and up, and they come here for a styling experience. They initially came in to shop, but once they're here, they feel seen, they feel confident, and this is their place, their living room, their sanctuary where they go to have a real shopping experience. We put the B in boutique because we know that our clients are beautiful. We're all women that need to be seen. When we enter a room, we enter with confidence, we turn heads, we have mature conversations. And what I mean by that is when someone says, "Oh, wow, I love that. You look amazing." They say, "Oh, thank you." And they're like, "Well, where did you get that from?" They're like, "All that and more." Our tags and our clothing have a referral card on them. So most of my clients keep those cards because we know as women, sharing is caring. And we know that while you would love to purchase everything in the boutique, you just can't. My Mornices know that we don't want to be the best kept secret. So you share where your outfits came from, you share where your handbags come from. When you walk into our location, you're going to find items that are curated just for you. What I mean by that is we have international designers that make handbags. We also have local designers that make handbags, but the handbags that we bring in are not just cute, they're functional. When you make an investment, it's lasting and you can generally gift it to someone else when you've decided you've had your fill and now you want to share. So, All That and More Boutique is truly that. It's an All That and More boutique experience. It's not just shopping, it's a sanctuary where you can come and get all this and more.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Let me look, let me just throw up in the chat what's
Uh-oh.
been going on. Let- because the chat is blowing up. Okay. So let me make sure I go in order. I don't want to Sister Blanche, I love my sister Blanche. She says, I grew up wearing white after Labor Day. Cassandra said, certain colors make me look
Hmm,
old or make me look odd. I think she
okay.
meant to say odd. Okay. And I don't like anything tight or fitting. So what would you
So
say
if you
for
don't
her?
want anything tight or fitting, what I hear is you like things that flow. You don't want anything clinging, and we have plenty of pieces that will not be clinging to your body. Because again, at this stage in our life, we're not giving away the store. We're not.
All everything comes with a purchase,
That part.
amen. And a bill of lading. Sister Charlotte said, I have trouble with certain colors where the colors that she wears. She says, I pale out and others make me stand out. How do I choose a good
So
color?
again, it comes back to finding what your favorite color is. And sometimes if you feel you pale out, maybe that color is a pastel color. So you're choosing a lighter shade of a color that you really like. So then I would recommend
Mhm.
that you go deeper and go with a jewel tone. And maybe it's not a neon in that shade, but it's finding the right shade to where it works for you. And I could help you with that.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm like, because when you said that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna come see you before my
Please,
women's retreat.
please
That's my
do.
plan. Yeah, I gotta come to you. Cassandra then says, quality is always nice. She said, I love the stretch. but price is always a concern as well. And I'm
Okay.
with her on that. So, what is your thoughts regarding pricing and how to find what is needed
So
within
then,
budget?
in that, again, always have a budget, do what works for you. But I will say that in my boutique, I really curate pieces that are quality. And so I've had designers come and, a wrap dress, for example, was $225. This other wrap dress they showed me was $98. And I took the $225 wrap dress and put it in their hand and it dropped like this. The $98 dress was, you know, like this. So I
Mhm.
educate my clients on, let's decide what it is that you're looking for. Let's work within your budget and let's get you something of quality that you can invest in. You can wear it. A lot of times when they come to me for galas and things like that, I was like, we're not going to do a gown that you can't wear again. Let's do something different because
Right.
that way you can wear it here, you can wear it there. And also, I've been blessed with, I think it's over the past 9 years, I have a payment plan that's called Sunbit, where you can come in, gather $300 worth of items that might be a whole outfit, put down 10%, which is $30, go on your trip or your retreat and come back and pay for it over 3, 6, or 12 months. So there are
Wow.
ways in which you can acquire nice quality clothing that you can again wear more than once and you know get what you want, get what you can afford, work within your budget.
I love that. I love that. Now I'm gonna tell you, I have listeners that tune in all across this world, this globe, and I'm grateful for it. Because I'm like little old me, or squishy size me. But I just changed that real quick. Fantastic size. There we go. Thank you, Jesus. But you might just need to take this on the road. This all that and more boutique gonna need to do a pop up in Jacksonville, Florida, because Jaira said that she needs to get that too. Uh, Charlotte's in Alabama, so we're gonna have to. She's saying that she's saying too bad she lives in Alabama, but how can far and wide
So
get to you?
here's what the pandemic opened up for me. We do a virtual sip and style. I was going to sip and shop, but I was like,
Mhm.
sip and style every Friday at 6 p.m. It's on my YouTube channel. And you can go in, I ship. I have done virtual consults. So, like how you and I are here, you
Mhm.
stand back, we go through the mirror, you
Yeah.
can send me a photo, and I take folks around the boutique and show them things. So, it's like virtual shopping. So, I come to your living room virtually. And
Mhm.
um,
Love that.
again, we ship. I just don't ship internationally, but where there's a will, there's a way.
Okay.
And I'm here for all that and more. One I
I
haven't
love that.
touched on, I would like to say too, that's my cousin Loni. She's like, I love Sunbit as well. That's the payment option I was speaking on. I
Mhm.
want to, shout out my ambassadors. These are women that have,
Okay.
come into my life at a time when I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. It's just me here.
Mhm.
And now there's 12 women that volunteer to support the boutique. They go out and they
Mhm.
connect with me when I'm doing events, when I'm doing showcases. They're there. They come in, they tag, they steam, they meet with me once a month. They have helped me grow my footprint in different areas, and it's like a team that has said, I'm here to
Yeah.
support you. So shout out to the ambassadors of all that and more. And their backgrounds are so vast. I mean, Anne is one of the ambassadors. Sherry, who is retired UCLA, my cousin, and all these women. Marsha, Tawana, Sandra, they all have careers or have had careers, and now
Mhm.
they're helping me live my dream and my passion. And also,
Love
um,
that.
it was put on my heart, this is a sanctuary for women to be seen. And recently, the last 2 years, we've done something, and that's Anne was on the platform. We called it Hidden Figures. And these are women
Okay.
that I've had the pleasure of coming and getting to know, and we feature them every February. And they've done things like one of them helped Barry Gordy get his first credit card. Yeah.
Wow.
And she was in the whole Motown scene. Another one was a realtor you were black when you couldn't be a realtor, you had to be a realtist. I mean, I think all of them would be great on your
Right.
platform. And it's just, my brother said, when the light is being shined on you, don't
Mhm.
hold the light. Take your light and shine it on
Right.
other people. Take that light
Mhm.
and shine it. So I couldn't end this without acknowledging the ambassadors, acknowledging the women that are extraordinary that I get to style. And while, yes, I give a celebrity styling experience to the everyday woman that wants to enter a room with
Mhm.
confidence, I have had the opportunity of styling celebrities, and um, I don't take that lightly, but I
Mhm.
really love it when you can say, "Oh yeah, I have a stylist."
Right.
And
Right.
the reason why I
Absolutely.
changed it from stylist, because most people would think hair, I'm like, I have a style educator.
Mhm.
And that way it's your own. I'm just
Mhm.
pouring more into and helping you mold what you like, and, recovering, like smoothing out what you don't like about you, so that you can
Mhm.
be all of who God called you to be.
I love this. It's so interesting because you think I know for me, I think about like, okay, when I always say that when my ship comes in, when the promise is fulfilled of what I know my life will be, all these different things. And then you start to realize, like, well, hold on. Some things can be done even now. It doesn't have to, you don't have to wait till the battle is over. You can really shout
Yes.
now, right? And so, one of the things that I think that oftentimes people have a negative connotation with, is when they see people with personal stylists, or they have, um, like, oh, well, you think you're better than, or, but you see companies who started those personal style boxes. Shoe Dazzle was doing it for years. And different, even, when you look on Shein and Fashion Nova, they are, having the little bots be your
Hmm.
style guide. So it's no longer taboo, is what I'm saying. It's no longer something that seems so far off, or um you can factor it into
Yes.
your budget. It's not necessarily impossible. It can be factored in. And so, I've been saying this for myself, wanting to, once I remember when I turned 40 last year, I've always liked color. And I've always been, for the past, since maybe like 25 to now, I've always been wearing color. But I've noticed there's four colors that I always gravitate to when I shop. There's always going to be a chocolate brown, something that I'm gonna buy. It's going to be a sage green or a hunter green, some type of
Yes.
green, because that in gold looks
Hmm.
really good on me. Uh, Definitely royal blue, because I'm a Zeta, so gotta have my royal blue. And then, it'll be a toss between like a
Hmm.
burgundy, crimson, or something along in that. It never fails. Something in that red pinkish family will find its way
Hmm.
in my bag. And I thought to myself, there was a time in my life that only black
Right.
and blue made
Mm.
sense to me, or a pop of color. And now, learning how to do, what is that they call it? Color blocking.
Yes.
Learning how to, it doesn't have to be matchy matchy. It's so many things that you be you Oh, you know what? Thank you, sis. She said you cute and tangerine too. Listen, that I love my tangerine now. Listen, I've been looking like somebody's peach. Like, come on, what you
Yes.
talking? But but when you were saying all that, I was thinking about how even wearing those colors help us to come alive. And so I thank you as you were sharing and giving us that experience. That was quality for every listener. That was quality content being shared. And I appreciate you giving us a sample of that on tonight. And I hope and pray more people not only book with you. I'm gonna type your site into the chat, not into the chat, but into the
Mhm.
overlay in a second. But if there's anything you want to close us out, anything that you want to share, please do that at a time. I'm going to make sure that people can reach you. Is there, I know it's all that and more boutique.com, but is there any other sites where they can maybe follow you, or you mentioned your YouTube where they can
Um,
subscribe?
I guess where I engage the most is on Facebook and on Instagram. My friend David, who's here, he helps me do amazing videos that we put on um, Instagram and all that. The letter N more boutique. That's Instagram, and then you can find us on Facebook there. What I will say is that you could look on my website, but what's on Instagram is like what's new, the new arrivals, and things like that. I also shout out to Mama Kathy because she's texting me, like telling me, say this and say that. And so she told me VIP program. So I have a VIP program where my VIP members, they never pay full price. You decide, it's like, remember layaway, remember, putting your Christmas club money away. um, every month you can do 50, 100, 200, or 300 on the first, and that is your money, that's your bank. So when you come in, they say, some people say, what's in my kitty, or what do I have on the books? And that
Mhm.
money is yours to use. So if you're going on a cruise or you're taking a trip, you're doing a $50 a month. If you do it 3 months and let it ride, you got 150. If you do 100, 3 months, you got 300. So when you walk through the door, you have money on the books, and then you never
Mhm.
pay full price. So you're either going to get 6% off or you're going to get 10.75% off. So that's the VIP program. And that came as a result of a client saying, listen, you need to be here. There's value in what you do. And I'm not going to shop with you every month, but you have to come up with something that will allow me to shop with you or contribute to you every month. And during the pandemic, when I was closed for 2.5 months, several of my clients upgraded their program because they're like, I can't come in, but I need to send you something and put it in my bank. And when the doors open again, I'll have money on the books. So it's a program. We also have a private Facebook group where they get first dibs or first look at what's come in. And that's an exclusive, it's a VIP exclusive. So I've really tried to take heed to what others have come in as clients and said, hey, I want this, or you need to do this. If it makes sense, I'm like, okay, God help me figure out a way to do it. And the VIP program with the Sun Bit has really allowed people to get access to what they need, when they want it, how they want it. And I'm just excited to have this opportunity. And again, our Friday lives, everyone is welcome to join us. My YouTube channel is All That and More Styles by Candance. And that's just
Okay.
another way for you to have, access. And, like I said, I just can't shout out Auntie Ann anymore. Um, Mama Kathy and all the ambassadors and all my clients that chose to join tonight. I look forward to learning more about you as well and how we can support your platform. I guess we're done. Let me see.
My apologies. Having some technical difficulties on this side. So
No
sorry about
worries. I was
that.
like, I guess we're done, I think.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Thank you all for joining in on tonight. Candance, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I will give you a call
Okay.
shortly after this. But to everyone who's tuned in, um, Cassandra says she loves your glasses. Candance, I will be at your shop soon.
Thank you. I
You have more than enough convinced me. May God bless you guys, keep you is my prayer. See you all next week, Lord willing. Talk to you soon. Bye.